Yeah.
What's up?
Alright, 7:20, calling meeting to order. The three of us are here, constituting a quorum. There's no citizens for citizen comment. We have minutes to approve from June 8th and June 29th.
Move approval of June 8th minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Move approval of the June 29th meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Jerry will be happy.
Moving on to the bills. There's an updated bills that came out since our last meeting, just because there's been a couple of things
I don't know if you received it.
since.
Got,
Received it, but here's I
uh,
highlighted the ones that are you got it. I highlighted the ones that of why there was an update, and those highlights are our performances for Wednesdays,
Okay.
and they received their checks the day of.
Okay.
So that's why Natalie had asked us if we can put them in, so we can get the checks cut for them.
Great.
Okay.
Got it.
Anything else weird?
Not weird, but just things that you could see. There's a Bienenstock Natural Playgrounds.
Yeah.
We got that one in for
Okay.
$7,000.
Okay.
They'll work on delivery as soon as they receive the check, so it
Okay.
shouldn't be that much longer.
Right. And are we doing installation on this?
We're gonna do part of it.
Okay.
I have to talk to Marcos too, because of the actual delivery is gonna be a little bit of a pain too.
Yeah.
They're requiring all these for us to bring forklifts and things like that, so I got to talk to them how we're gonna
Yeah.
logistically handle all that.
Okay.
But we'll get it done.
Yeah.
Sunrise Tree Care, that was an unexpected
Yeah.
$4,400, but we had to do it with safety reasons. Drought, trees falling, so
Yeah.
we took care of it though pretty quickly.
Plumbing and sewer.
We had plumbing and sewer problems at Cayman last month, but luckily our Peterson, I think is the person's name, he was able to come out the day of and fix it and give us a good deal. He's been working with us for years.
Ricky Peterson?
Yeah.
Are you rodding that?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
It's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
clay, and it's got a long run too. 'cause
yeah.
That
He
goes all
showed.
the way
Yeah, I went to go
south,
see
right?
it. Yeah, I went to go see it, and he showed me all the roots too.
Yeah.
Like the trees are just getting in there,
Goodness.
which
Did he talk
Not-
about putting in a external access?
We could clean out.
no, he didn't yet. He didn't yet. We're gonna talk again, but at that point, I was like, we need working today for the kids.
Yeah.
Where's he clean
But
that
we-
out from inside?
Yeah, he
Right.
went right outside to the actual. He dug out the actual line that we have. It's
Yeah.
right outside of Cayman, right in front. So he was just rodding that thing out for a while, but he got everything working pretty quick.
All right, good.
325 a year I wouldn't worry about.
I mean, luckily at this house I haven't had to, but at my old house it was like once a year.
Yeah.
Twice a year. You just had to do it.
We're every two or
You
three.
just got to do it with these old
Yeah.
clay pipes, and then they'll try to sell you on digging the whole thing up and putting a new one down, and most of the time it's not. It's just not worth it. It
No.
doesn't need it that bad.
325 a year versus 25,000.
Oof.
Easy. Especially for as long as that run is.
Yeah.
That'd be big money.
Two boilers, heating and cooling. We had air conditioning problems as well. Got those fixed. At the same time, though, we put in a digital thermostat here
Nice.
to start getting us into a little bit more modern usage.
$108 to Natalie.
Which one was that?
It's got a star next to it.
Yeah. Let me see. Summer program supplies. Yeah.
Okay. And then Stratus Building Solutions.
Good one too.
Got them right here. Those are our cleaning people
Okay.
that come in. We're actually in the middle of going over the contract.
Cool. We used to have staff clean, and in the last year we
Yep.
went to outside cleaners.
Yeah. That's what I've been kind of looking at. Should we not? And then looking at the money.
Yeah.
They bring their own products, or they use our products,
They bring their own.
right?
Right now, my staff, our parks department, because they're my eyes and ears, and obviously, I haven't been here enough to get, hey, have they compared to what it was?
Yeah.
Is it better? Is it
Yeah.
worse? Is it the same? According to them, it's worse right now.
Really?
Yeah, but that's my baseline is when I got here. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what was this like before I got here?
Yeah.
Where do we need it to be then? So what I had actually is that I'm just auditing Stratus that, hey, send me everything that you are in charge of in the contract, so then I can look at everything that you're in and see where it is.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd put their feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of money if they're not doing a great job.
Right.
Speaking of a lot of money, what are these legal fees?
Charles. Those are the invoices.
That's a high. It's
That's
high.
a big number.
It's high. It rarely gets that high. I wonder. We had him working a lot in the transition and hiring of Marlon,
Okay.
but it's high. And I don't think we need Charles at every meeting.
No.
Especially with you.
Oh, and Sean.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
The only that's fantastic. The only thing I was thinking about, and obviously you're the board and you can tell me, hey, this
Yeah.
is maybe we don't need him at all. Is the for the Ready Committee? They had so many questions regarding statutes, meetings, when they can, when they can't.
Yeah.
That was the only concern I had with.
Sure. For me, I'd rather put questions in writing, get an answer in writing.
Okay.
Yes.
For everybody, that, and the way we kind of gate capped
Mm-hmm.
legal before is it all goes through you,
Okay.
right? So commissioners aren't asking independent questions of
Yeah.
our lawyer, and he's billing, right? Everything goes through you, and I stick with that.
I always just assumed he had to be there because
No,
he's
no.
always been there.
We had the conversation, Charles and I did before it started, and I said because it was very open and honest. I was like, if I don't need you there,
Yeah.
you're not. He goes, perfect. He goes, if you don't need me there, I don't want to be there.
Okay.
No. So he's
Yeah.
he's not trying to like be there or not. He's like,
Yeah, that's
let
my
me know. Like today, I told him I was like, don't even worry about it. I was like,
that's my impression
we're
too.
gonna
So
get through it.
my default would be to
Yeah.
not have him come to meetings.
He's happy with that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
if
should have to
we're
invite him.
Maybe there's some times here and there when we might see
For sure.
something that we invite
Right.
him to come, or he can even zoom in for those, right? Like, there's no
He can,
reason-
as long as there's a quorum, he can just call in, zoom in.
Right.
And that's what I told him. I go, if I see something that heads up, and I say, hey, I think we're gonna need some legal counsel.
yeah.
Those are the times.
Yeah, or again, get that question in writing to him
Yeah.
Okay.
with 3 or 4 days notice, so that
Yeah.
we have the answer. We can all the commissioners can look at and be on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my preference. And there are sometimes, like if we're redoing the ordinance, we might want to come out and,
Mm-hmm.
if there's a particular, if there's litigation he needs to
Yeah.
update the board on.
So
Absolutely.
when he's at the meeting, he charges us like an hourly rate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, it's obviously it's something we can talk about then, but that might be also something like, there's been times where we've moved things with motion to the front for me.
Mm.
Maybe we just move him to the front if we get through what we need to with him, and then he can.
Yeah.
We don't need to pay him to listen to the monthly reports from from Natalie and Marlon.
Yeah. My preference is to compile questions at the end of each meeting, if there are any.
All right,
Ship
great.
them off to him.
We're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
All right. These bills, July 13th.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills dated July 13th, 2023, in the amount of $35,835.89.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Is it petty cash?
Petty cash is in there. All you saw was the updated, so the petty cash is in your larger packet.
Oh.
I get you one.
Yeah, I get you. Okay.
You got it?
That's real small.
Oh, it's
Only 1,200.
Yeah, it was not. This was not the spend from last month.
All right. Any motion regarding the petty cash?
Move approval of petty cash. An amount of $1,250.92.
Mitchell Seconds.
I know you mentioned at one point about Amazon
Yeah.
and trying to do stuff in town if we can. I'm sure but just mention that to the,
No, we have. That
if
was
you could foresee stuff, and
Yeah.
I'd also.
last month. It was.
Furthermore, I'd like
yeah.
to like Lemoy, places more like Evanston places than even like
Yeah.
Home Depot and Target, right? And I
Yeah.
get it. There's times when you got to get it. That's fine. But if we can, let's
And we
try to
we
keep
did
our
last
money in town to smaller businesses.
last month. It was $1,600 Amazon,
Yeah.
and this month it's
Right.
$361.
Yeah.
So we lowered it. But yeah, no, like I said, Natalie, like even when I've asked, just like, hey, where do we get this? And she's like, oh, we use a local spot. So I know
Right.
that staff does look at, our local entities. With Amazon, we do have also a charity that it goes to, and our spending goes to an Evanston charity
Okay.
as well, though.
Great.
All right. On the agenda, we've approved bills, approved petty cash. Item 7, monthly reports. We're just gonna accept the written monthly reports.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Where do I get the horseshoes?
You have to bring your own.
Gotta bring your own.
Gotta bring your own horseshoes.
Is there a pig going in?
It's in.
Oh,
It's
really?
in the pictures. Yeah, I put a picture in the packet.
Oh.
They're in.
I was in Wisconsin.
Yeah, the guys have
So-
been working hard on it.
Awesome. Where are they at?
Over at Elks.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, right in front of the brush the train.
Yeah.
They're over there.
Sweet.
Have you gone to check them out?
Great.
Yeah, the guys did a great job.
I might have some horseshoe.
Well, we can finish the meeting, but maybe if we buy a
We could
set.
spring burn.
We talked about buying a set and
Uh.
people checking them out like darts at a bar.
Yeah.
Where you come over, you drop your ID or something like that, right? And look, if somebody doesn't have an ID, right? I get that.
Yeah.
I don't want to like
Mhm.
get into all that. But if they're there and they're willing, leave your ID or leave,
Mhm.
a shoe, and drop them back off when you're done.
Yeah.
No, the guys did a great job though. Yeah.
Yeah, I fully support spending $20 on horseshoes. We can check out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see my old man had some. He was trying to pitch off on me, and I was like, 8 and 9-year-olds do not need to be throwing horseshoes at each other. Old horseshoes. So if
I'm
you
gonna
do,
get some.
I'll leave them out there.
It's gonna be fun.
All right. So accepting all those reports, there's no old business. The only new business we're doing today is the presentation of the tentative budget. Do you want to walk us through that, Marlon?
Yeah. So
See it on page
just an overview of it. Some of the
29 of the digital packet.
yeah.
Starting on 27, right?
Yeah, it just should be the overview, and
Sorry.
then there's the actual more of the detail. But just some of the things that I wanted to bring up that are kind of the larger items would be for the admin salaries. You saw that those went up because of Matt. We've spoken about this since Jung left. We kind of started looking at that role, the office manager role, and seeing how much more work that role could take on to alleviate some of Natalie's duties.
And so how many hours a week has it been?
20.
Oh.
So we're making it full time.
Yeah.
With the budget is making that a 9 to 5 full time. And that would be in charge of registration, customer service, scholarships, which are huge, payroll, finance, special projects. There's another thing I'll talk about just a little bit is the strategic plan that's in the budget as well. And one of the reasons is just from what I've seen right now, Natalie does a great job, but I feel like she's wearing a ton of hats. I compare it to like when I was in college, I was in charge of checking people in, giving the tour of the school, being on the panel, and then checking people out when somebody didn't show up. And I feel like that's what Natalie's doing right now.
Yeah.
And she really shines at, as I call it, recreating and programming. So I feel like this position can take some of the customer service and registration out and let Natalie shine in what she does best.
Okay. And how does she feel about that?
Good. We talked about it and we said that we can make this a full-time position with more duties. And like I said, and this would also be, like I said, payroll as well, but office management would also be helping with what I want to do also is audits of our programs and looking at revenue, cost analysis. And I think this is the position that can definitely help with that. When I ask Natalie or anybody else, how are these programs working? How much are we putting in? How much money's coming out? Whether it's even snacks for camp, this position can help with that and get those numbers.
And where do you find the money for it?
We took it out. Well, we took some of the actual part-time wage from the 20,000 there, and then out of capital. I think it was that where Jerry and I took some out as well.
We've also Natalie's interested in a title change and discussion of more different responsibilities.
That would be included here.
Yeah, I think it makes sense in this conversation.
What I would do there is this position would also be the corporate secretary. So we would take corporate secretary, but add $5,000 to Natalie's wage. So she wouldn't lose that. So she'd still get a bump. And then we'll look at the title. But then that's another responsibility that this person would have. And I think that would be, I'd rather also have that one title. So when we're all at the table, we're not sharing titles.
Yeah.
So we know we're defining who the corporate secretary is, who our recreation director is, executive director, and we're not sharing those responsibilities.
What is your current title?
Program director.
Okay, what does she want?
I'm not sure, but in parks,
Executive director.
it would be, I would say, superintendent of recreation would be a level.
Yeah, I'm totally open to a title change that both of you agree on and makes sense.
So we're gonna, the corporate secretary.
Would go to this
is
full-time
that-
office
is
manager.
That's the other job that Natalie held.
Right.
That she was making.
4,500.
Okay.
So I'm looking at taking that money and keeping it with Natalie, but this full-time office manager role would be between $45,000 and $60,000 a year.
And this is a to be hired.
Yes.
Obviously. Okay.
So right now,
Anybody in mind, or is this?
no. So right now we were lucky enough we were sad to see Jung go because she was really great,
John's the best we've had
Yeah.
in the time I've been here.
fantastic. But serendipitously, Abby called like a month ago and said, "Hey, who worked here prior to Jung in the same position? Is there a position for me? Is that available?" And obviously we're like, "No." And then it became available.
Yeah.
So Abby was able to come in, board week, bill week, last week, and rock, and
That's great.
do everything with minimum, hiccups.
She left to
minimal
go to
hiccups.
grad school.
Yeah. So now
she
she's
might be out for the summer.
yeah. So long story short is she leaves August 22nd.
Okay, so she's just a
So
part-time.
Natalie, right now she's a Band-Aid. She's a fantastic Band-Aid, but she is a Band-Aid. So right now Natalie and I are putting together job title description so we can put an IPRA so we can get someone in here in a full-time role. I have already had people call me about it that I know in different parks. So there is interest in it.
Right.
Cool. Good to know.
But yeah, let's make it public.
Okay.
Okay.
That was my plan this week. Was after the board meeting week. I even told, because Abby's going to be part of it as well, because she's
Right.
in the position,
Yeah.
and Jung was as well. So she left notes because she knew going out what I was looking for, and she also let me know what would be needed.
Huh.
You
Alright.
okay with Natalie keeping that 5,000 if we're taking that work away from her?
What kind of work was it?
This.
Well, she'll be here for this, right?
She will. So corporate secretary puts the agenda together.
Yeah.
Is in charge of the elections. Sets up the meeting. Those are the big duties. Compiles the packet. It's
Mhm.
not nothing.
No, that's work.
And she also puts it up on the website. So it's substantive. It's not. It's 3-4 hours a month. Not bad.
Well, anything that turns focus on the programming is good.
And that's what I'm trying to do is have these things done by someone else where
Yeah.
you can shine in programming.
That makes perfect sense.
It's
just a matter of
I
if-
hear mixed.
We just gave her a large raise, and now we're
She just got
Ta-
a $10,000 raise.
now we're taking. She's not doing that
Right.
anymore, so I don't. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of confused as to why we would still be paying her for that work, because that was always clearly we kept those separate
Sure.
all the time.
And she was real intent in our negotiation of that 10,000.
She was.
that it was outside of the
Right.
secretary role. That she wanted us just to look at the programmer role. So in a sense, it's given her another substantive
Mhm.
bump,
Big bump.
while also taking stuff off her plate. So, yeah, my gut is not.
Okay.
Is to keep it in the back pocket.
Okay.
That said, I wouldn't want to take it away with her without her giving it up freely.
Mhm.
If
Right.
she wants to keep the work,
Like, she wants to keep the work and keep the money, She's
That's fine.
if she's
Yeah.
budgeted her life around having an extra
it's all right.
$5,000.
She does a fine job at it.
Yeah.
But if she's not doing the work,
Mhm.
and the new person is,
Mine was just to separate those roles as
Yeah.
well, because I don't think those roles should be together.
Yeah, I get
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I think it definitely more naturally falls to a full-time office person.
definitely, I would agree.
And mixed feelings. I mean, things like putting the agenda in the packet has to be closely overseen if Natalie is at least overseeing it.
Should be overseeing it myself. Yeah, we'd be overseeing it.
Yeah.
In other districts I've been at, that role is either actually the executive director or it's the office manager in other roles.
I mean, I think we don't have to make this decision tonight.
Mhm.
Right. I think we wait until we see who the new hire is.
Yeah, and until talk to Natalie, see what she wants, and
Yeah.
we get all the other two commissioners on
Yeah.
voice as well. I think we should. Yeah, I think we
Fine, I
can
agree.
move on.
Okay.
Based on our earlier discussion, I'd like to see legal fees go back down if he's not going to be here.
Yeah, because we did put that up.
What?
When Jerry and I went through it, he advised that we put that higher, and I think 17. Is that what it is? I just want to say top of mind.
Yeah, I would go back to 14.
What's his hourly?
And that.
Do you know off the top of your head, Marlon?
No, I'm not sure what the hourly is. I can find out for you, but yeah.
I think it's a government reduced. I think
It
it's
isn't?
250.
All right.
That's what I have in my head. 250, maybe 300.
So that's six.
Let's go back
So
to
2-hour meetings,
1,500 and
6,000
Yeah,
a year.
so we-
$1,000 a month plus two
Yeah.
to deal with.
So we did up that. Yeah, we did up that to 17.
I think we can leave it at 14 for now. How about these board development activities? Is that just ready?
A lot of it is ready. That is also though, most of it's ready. You see what the bills are for ready. I would like to separate. So this is what we've done. I got to talk to Jerry about this. So the trainings that Natalie or myself or any one of my staff go to was put under board.
Okay.
But it's not a lot. So it's mostly ready for the board activities. Because that's I think the last contract was 14 for ready. Am I right?
10 and then
10,
additional
but
4.
then yeah, so it was 14. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's the rest of that?
Let me go back to
And
it.
there's any IAPD trainings.
That's the IPD training. It's
IAPD,
yeah. Natalie
leadership.
goes to leadership
She goes
training,
to a conference.
but that would just be conference.
Yeah, I think administrative staff should be separated from board.
Yeah, and I'd rather do that so you can actually see our trainings as as opposed to what everyone else is going through.
And based on what Jerry was saying, we lump it all in here to hide the ready expense.
So let me get back to you on what the trainings are, and I'll get more precise
Go.
with that. But I'll separate it out under that. I'll put staff trainings underneath it.
I'm looking at the line item. So IPD, the minutes, Julie's gets paid out of that. Equity, we have 16, and then strategic planning, you have 16.
That's where I put it. So that one was here and there, strategic planning. In the past where I've been to, we put it under capital. So this is new when I talked to Jerry putting it there, but I think he said he was okay either or.
I'm fine with it there.
Okay.
What are you envisioning though?
I could see more under capital, to tell you the truth, because it's something, we're setting the groundwork for something larger with the strategic planning. So I see it as a capital expense.
As long as Jerry signs off,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't-
But yeah, what are you envisioning spending that money on?
I was looking at a couple places, a couple agencies actually for that, for our strategic planning. JSD Designs was one of them, and just looking at our mission, our vision, doing a community needs assessment, and that'll include DEI as well with that. Data, trends, focus groups, just putting us on a path for the next 5 years, and seeing if things are aligning with our vision. One of the things that we all brought up here is obviously like the routing or things like that, looking at our facilities and not being reactionary, and doing an audit of those and going, let's put a plan in place for these parks every 3 years. We're gonna look at this is what needs fixing, instead of kind of just being, when it breaks, we fix it. I really want to just put us on a plan, on a lane, and have a vision, and this is the beginning of that. And it's gonna be, it might hurt at first because there's gonna be a lot of work, but I think it's gonna set us for the next 3 to 5 years. We're gonna have a better plan of attack. And like you said, with programming, we're gonna be able to see where should we program more, what are the trends, where are we going, the demographics of our town here, where are they moving to? It's gonna give us so much information.
So are we bringing in a consultant to pay $16,000? Why would a strategic plan cost that much?
Because they would put in the focus groups, they would do the
So
data
it's
analysis. Yeah, it's consultants that would do that. And I can help with that as well. I've done it before in the past with my marketing past, so I can look at also bringing the cost down of doing a lot of it ourselves in-house.
I would like to combine that with equity and put that all in one bucket instead of two. There's definitely an equity component to a strategic plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but under demographics specific to Ridgeville, DI,
Yeah.
gender, age, ethnicity, income.
Yeah, what if we put equity? So you'd prefer, John, not to have equity in board development, right?
You're right, it doesn't, it sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Equity on your board?
Yeah.
And what would you put it under?
Well, I would cut 10,000 out of this and make it 26,000 as strategic planning that includes Ready and strategic plan. Because I think Ready delivered their report already to us. I don't know why we would hire them for another report. What's the next step for the Ready committee? I think it would be strategic planning.
So
They would be a part of that.
I think that's a separate question. What's the next step for Ready?
Right. That's something we have to talk about.
Which
Right.
I mean, they even did they come to a terms on how they're going to handle their meetings?
No. I'm not
On
aware
whether
of
they're
their...
going to be able to meet.
Right. They would have one this Thursday if they were to have one.
Right. I mean, I know right, the big thing now is the going through our ordinances,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And from
we
there.
have any kind of, I don't know.
They've
Again,
already done
they've
that.
kind of delivered.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They did,
Oh.
right? It's been done, so I don't know where. And I feel like moving forward,
So I think the question is, what do we, as a board, want from Aisha over the next year? I don't know the answer to it.
I think personally, I think the Park District is at a pretty large crossroads right now. We have a lot of new commissioners. We obviously have a brand new executive director. we're stepping away from, not that, from Brian, who was here for a long time. And, you know, I think Marlon, I trust him, and I think if you feel that a strategic development, you know, I think it would be a good time for one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think you'll be here for a few years. I don't expect you to be here for 30 years like Brian, right?
I never know.
But I
Not
think
with that attitude.
But I think I would love, right? But I think it would be good to find some direction.
Yeah.
And I think part of that, it sounds like, is also our outreach into the community,
Right.
Yeah.
which would be in line with a lot of, like Sean's saying, a lot of what Reddy's been doing. So I think
Right.
maybe using that money there instead.
My what I want to really accomplish with this is I don't want to come in and prioritize something. I want to get a lay of the land and talk to the residents and the board and my
Yeah.
staff,
Right.
because I have ideas. Those ideas may not work at all, and they might be all non-starters here. So I want this to help me prioritize, and I wrote it down here. You know, events, DI, programming, community, parks, facilities. This is going to help us prioritize
Sure,
of
right.
what needs the most right now. And I think our community, I think we're going to be surprised at some of the answers where some things that we thought would be here are going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So I support that. I think timing wise, it makes a lot of sense.
I think so too.
Absolutely.
And new board, we're not going to have a lot of turnover in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
To be able to calendar
Right.
what we want to do
Right.
on a 5-year plan.
Yeah. Totally.
How does equity fit into that, and how does equity fit into that for the 23-24 budget?
That's where Jerry and I become best friends. And we look at how we can make this work.
It's just, and that's, I mean, I'm back to like, I don't know what we want
I don't want
from,
to spend 16,000 on it
from Aisha.
again. Seems high, given that they've already delivered their full report.
In training, she did an extensive trainings that I don't expect a need for again.
Was that report done through a park district lens or more of a DEI lens?
I was,
Like,
it was a very much tailored to Bridgeville. And it was well done. I've done a ton of equity trainings in my life.
well, I think what we can do is whoever we bring in, you know, show the data and go, this is already what we've done.
Yeah.
We
So
have
this
those
is we
videos.
have right, we have the demographics.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then that's one step already ahead. We don't need that again.
Sure.
So there's things that we don't have to redo if we have them.
So I think we should bump equity down from 16 to 10 at least.
Maximum 10, yeah.
And Aisha, to her credit, has reached out to me and Marlon about having a sit down to talk about
Okay.
our expectations going forward. She's very professional. I enjoy working with her. I have no complaints. But as you can hear, I'm not able to articulate what I think we need from her over the next year.
And maybe this strategic plan helps us answer that question.
That's what I'm going for, right?
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm going for. Is that this might help
Right.
us go.
So let's find out.
Aisha, this is where
Right.
this is where I think we need to be.
So we'll
Yeah.
whatever company, you know, they'll help us fine tune
Yeah.
that, and then we can ask the community, find out what the community wants, compile all that, and now we can say, okay, Aisha, here's what we need help with. Here's what we need
Yes.
your expertise.
The
with.
strategic plan is going to take the better part of a year.
Sure.
It is.
Yeah.
So
A
then
good one's gonna
there's
take-
going to be $10,000 sitting here with.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where I'm at. It's like I don't know what for the 23-24 year what we're expecting from Aisha, and she's very willing to sit down and talk about it.
Mhm.
So I guess maybe that's the next thing.
Yeah, maybe we sit down and talk to her and see what ideas she has,
Yeah.
and then we can revisit that budget number
Yeah.
after that.
Um,
So maybe Marlon you can reach out to her this
Yeah.
month,
Definitely.
right? So we
Yeah.
can have that for the.
yeah.
Yeah, and we've already done the initial reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be me. I'm happy to be involved in that. There can be another commissioner there without triggering open meetings. And I'm out of town for the first 3 weeks of August.
That's right.
And I'm not here for the next board meeting. But I'll plan on scheduling a sit down with you before I go.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so then of this, so just over big picture of the budget, the big differences I see are bringing on the full-time admin, doing a strategic plan,
Yes.
part-time wages jumped 20 grand,
So that was,
That
jumped
is,
10.
you hired somebody new, right?
and that is a part-time communications person. And that would be 20 hours a week.
Where's that?
That was under. Is that under?
Just
Yeah.
for recreation.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another hire.
Right. But this would be social media communications. The book that Natalie's doing. That's another thing. You know, Natalie's doing right now the brochure and the book. So this person will take over that. Press releases. Something that I was looking at as well that we don't have, or maybe emergency crisis plan. Just anything like that. You know, photo comp plan. Just help us reach a voice for the residents.
And you think that this is your wheelhouse? You think we'll find somebody good at
For a part, yeah, because it's also something that I can definitely guide.
Are you sure that the new office manager can't handle that? Because Natalie's doing it now. Do we need 1.5 positions?
Natalie is doing it now, but she's just doing it, and I need someone to really give us that. You know, to the website, social media. Natalie's doing the best she can, wearing 20 different hats. I want someone to be in charge of that and be able to do it the way we need it done.
I'm open to this. 1.5 new positions. I think it's almost a reorg,
Mhm.
right? Of everybody,
Right.
everybody in the office underneath you.
And just so you know, this was an ask of like one of the first days talking to Natalie. Like we sat down and had a great heart-to-heart, and I said, if I can give you anything right now when it comes to Ridgeville for help,
Yeah.
what? She's like, marketing. She goes, if you could do that, she's like, that would be fantastic. Obviously, I saw that even before I was like,
Yeah.
this is something that we can definitely do a little bit better.
Still think there's a chance the new office manager will be able to handle it, but
And
we'll see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm open to that. If we get that person who I come back and I say, so and so is our dream, let's go with it. And
Yeah.
this takes care of this.
I thought Natalie liked doing
Yeah.
the brochure.
I know she
that
wants to
was one of
step
the
away
things.
from the marketing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions on this?
We just bought the new truck and we've got a vehicles jump and doubling.
This is an aerator. So when I came in April, May, we were doing our spend. We did the fields, the soccer fields. We did our field here for the kids, and we paid about 17 grand, I think it was, to Manny's, which, you know, I cringed when I saw how much we were spending, and I talked to the guys.
For them to come do it.
Yeah, and I talked to Marcos and I said, "Hey, is this normal? Do we end up spending 10 to 20 grand on these things?" And he's like, "We do." He goes and he told me, he's like, "And we do it. We don't do it the right time of year." He goes, and I don't know if you've seen the grass right outside where the kids are.
Yeah.
It's already dirt,
Yeah, it's already dirt.
and we spent that was about 4 or 3. Yeah, it was quite a bit. So I talked to the guys. Marco says that he's been wanting to purchase an aerator for the park so he can do it himself, and he can do it in the fall, in the spring, and not in that summer month. So he can, and he says, you know, he knows how to use it. It'd pay for itself in 2-3 seasons.
Say no more. Fully support that.
Yeah, I just wonder if What if the city has one?
Hey, check.
Is that something that we could work out with them? I mean, I'm all for it. It's
Yeah.
cost savings. It's something that we
No,
need. I'm sure the city has a couple. Maybe that's something that we could reach out to them. It's it's not like a truck or something, right? Something that or is it like a lawnmower?
Yeah,
Like
it's a ride-on. It's a ride-on lawnmower, basically.
I'm sure they do all their parks,
Yeah.
right? Maybe that's something that we could work out a
I'll
deal with them where we could
where am I?
pay to, rent it from them or something like that, right? And have our guys do it for a fee.
Or maybe District 65 has one.
Right. Yeah. Or the high school, right? One of any one of those three probably has one, and maybe that's something that we could.
You just want me to kill two birds with one stone with this efficiency thing.
Yeah.
No, I'd be more than happy to
Yeah.
to see where we can
And
do
if
something else.
And if it doesn't sound like
I'm
it's
okay.
gonna go the direction we
Yeah.
want it to, then yeah, it sounds like
Yeah.
something that we could purchase, and it'll a piece of equipment like that will run for 15 years. So
Yeah.
that'll be that would be a perfectly fine purchase.
Yeah.
Maybe we could rent it to the school district.
There you go.
Here's our revenue from the school district. No, I'll make a note of it. I'll talk to the guys and I'll talk to the district and the city and anyone else actually. Yeah, whoever else might be using something. Those are my notes of kind of what I wanted you guys to definitely be aware of.
Tell me about capital spending, why it's cut in half.
That is.
Was that for the? Was that for
There's
the?
a lot more.
Was that for IAPD for the search and the?
I think
His
so.
hiring?
I actually, yeah, it is. But I also have a note here. I literally have a note here that says low,
Yeah.
and it says talk to Jerry more about this because I saw it was half, and it might be the hiring.
Reba last year.
We did what?
Reba. I thought we redid
The playground.
some park stuff last year. That was substantial.
The and maybe the courts. We did the courts last year too, didn't
We
we?
did courts last year, and we got that play equipment
The playground and was the skate equipment last year. Or was that the year before?
the year before. But what I'm seeing on this is there's no big capital improvement project.
No, not at this point.
Okay.
And that's why that's actually one of the reasons I was going to put our strategic plan under the capital because I saw we had money there.
Okay.
Alright, do you need us to accept or approve a tentative budget?
Yeah, so now I would just need, and we're still gonna work on this right now. Natalie's working on hers, and Marcos is still working on his. But as of right now, we need to pass the tentative budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023, ending June 30, 2024, as presented in the board packet.
And that allows you to
That now I can use this money.
be spending.
Now I can spend for this year. Right? Doesn't make this official by any means. It just means I can now take from this budget and spend what I
Move
need.
approval of the tentative budget 2023-2024.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We're gonna skip Jerry's presentation tonight.
Oh, I was gonna do it. No.
That's gonna kill you.
Only if you do it in Spanish.
No,
could.
no citizen comments. You guys got anything you want to call out as commissioners?
Nope.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
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 Adjourned at 8:04.
Get out there to our African dance class.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming through and making a special
Yeah.
meeting today.
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't make it last week.
No, no worries, Brad.
Oh, glad you enjoyed Wisconsin.
Our bills and our budget. Where were you in Wisconsin?
Near Economowalk.
Oh,